Hi guys, I had a request to do some heel turn exercises for the ladies wearing the high heels and the pumps. Now the mechanics of the heel turn will be the same for the man and the lady, except that there's a difference in the rise. Now there are exceptions to the heel turn coming out with a rise. That would be, for example, the zigzag back lock and running finish and quick step, and that today is listed as additional figures. It's not in the main step list. But on the zigzag, we have a heel turn dance for the lady with no rise. Okay, so that's a very unusual action. Most of the time then there will be a rise, and if the lady's dancing a heel turn, she has a slight rise commencing at the end of the first step, to the end of her step backwards, and then she'll continue through 2 and 3. That's the normal situation for your double reverse spin, open telemark, reverse turn, foxtrot, natural turn, and so on. The man, most of the time, will be dancing a heel turn and open impetus or closed impetus, and he will not rise until the second step. Okay, so that's something we'll talk about a little bit later today. I have my pumps on for the girls, but we have that slight difference. And of course it has to do with the men leading, the shoe that we wear, the poise of the bodies together, who's in charge, and so on. So that's different. But what it's all based on is that the heel turn is based on the tracking action of the feet under the body. So you need to practice the walking, and of course you should practice your walking in a flat shoe, coaching shoe, practice shoe, a dance sneaker, something like that before you try working on that in the heels. We need to train ourselves not to grind the heel strong into the floor, but just strike a match with the heel so that you get that very light action, and then the foot relaxes and comes back to the other foot. If we have not trained in the tracking action, if we're moving back with the legs swinging out or the toes dragging on the floor, then the heel turn will never happen. So outside of the exceptions where we have, as I said, the zigzag back lock, the running finish, where there is no rise on the heel turn, typically we have an early rise or a foxtrot rise. So as the leg is tracking back to the other foot, there's a rise taking place. So my partner, generally in the man's part here, well, I'm the man dancing the impetus turn, and I'm in charge of it, so I'll take care of that myself. But I'm receiving, as lady, I'm receiving this early rise with a turn, which is indicating to me that there's going to be a heel turn. And my job is to try to track my legs back in time with my body weight, and the time with my partner's weight coming through, and the time with the music. So that's the preliminary. So now what I'm going to do is just a back together forward, drawing the heel, and then rising to the toe at the end as the most basic exercise. So we'll practice alternating. We'll go back on the right foot, draw the left foot, bring the feet together, rise, and push a penny out with the opposite foot. So we're doing 3 weight changes. Then I'll go back with the left foot, tracking the right foot back, letting the foot go flat, rising, pushing a penny out with the left foot. I'll do a series of short videos so we can graduate from one exercise to the other. So right now we will not add any turn to the heel turn. We'll just be doing the tracking, changing weight, rising, and making sure that on the exit that the foot is articulating and pushing the penny out. So I'll turn my back now. So if we do this with the right foot, you would dance back, close, forward. Then with the left foot, back, close, forward. Right foot, back, close, forward. Left foot, back, close, forward. On the side, if we do that, I'll start now with my left foot, moving back, together, pressing up and going forward. Back, together, forward. Back, together, forward and back, together, forward. Now as I'm closing my feet, and we have this slight rise on one, slight rise at the end of one, I feel as though I'm dancing up a ramp. I'm not dancing down into a heel turn. Then you're going to get something like this. So with the legs tracking and the rise commencing, that will pull the foot under the body and then push out with the toe. It's very important you feel that upward feeling into the back walk and not a downward feeling into the back walk. We see this a lot of times with the ladies going down, going in a hole, and then trying to dance the heel turn like that. Now there is something called a tango heel turn, for instance in the open reverse turn with lady in line, and in the current book they're not describing that anymore, but a tango heel turn is simply moving back in tango, closing the heels together and stepping forward. So we don't have the same type of walking action in the tango. And it's no longer listed in the charts as a tango heel turn, which I think is a little unfortunate. It's good to understand that. But the feet there will come together in a type of heel turn. So for today, practice this in the flat shoe, then practice it in the high heels. You may have something you can hold on to, maybe a bar or just a wall to help yourself moving back and forward so that you don't wobble. I'm not going to feel that I'm going to actually put weight back into the heel there. The weight is going to move back solidly over the heel of the foot. When we actually do the turn later on, there will be a softness in the front of the foot, but we won't pick our toes up off the ground. So you don't have to go back and balance on the heels. But they are difficult in heels, especially when you're first starting, because all the body weight that's going down from the width of your hips then is going down into a very narrow place in your feet, and even more narrow under the heel bone into that heel. So you want to make sure just that you feel the heel firmly on the floor, sense the transfer of weight, and then push out. So even though we're not turning right now, that's the other thing you should be aware of, is when you close your feet, that there's a clear transfer of weight. And there's a use of the foot bones. We'll feel this much more when we're turning, that you're moving across your feet. Your feet are not flat and they're not in this position. In the next video, we'll start adding turn, and at that point it will be important for you to realize that the actual heel turn takes place when the feet are roughly in this position, which is a third position. So one of the common faults is to dance the back walk, close the feet, and try to turn on two heels. It's a heel turn singular, so I want to feel again, back on this foot, close the foot, transfer the weight, and come out. So let's leave it at that for this video, and on the next one we'll do a simple turn of making a quarter turn to the left and to the right from one foot to the other. We'll take the right foot back. If you've been practicing your back walk, you know that you're going to move through that rocking chair position of toe lifted in the front and heel lifted in the back. And as the heel lowers towards the floor, you'll close your feet, rise, you're going to press up, and then push the penny with the right foot. Moving back with the left foot, rocking off of the front foot. Gently strike a match with the front foot. Transfer the weight, push the penny with the left foot.